Night has fallen over the Judean highlands. A lone traveler stops on the road, dust in his mouth, fear in his chest. Jerusalem somewhere ahead, hidden behind black ridges of stone. He looks up, not in triumph, not yet. He looks up the way desperate people do, when the road narrows, when shadows lengthen, when every hill could hide a robber, every ravine could break an ankle, every hour away from home feels like an hour too far from safety. And then, out of that fear, one of the most unforgettable lines in all ancient poetry rises into the dark. I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where will my help come? This is not the voice of a man sitting safely in a palace. This is the voice of exposure, of vulnerability, of someone caught between departure and arrival, between dread and faith, between the mountain in front of him and the God he cannot see. And what makes Psalm 121 so powerful is this: we do not know his name. The author is lost to history, but his fear survived, and so did his hope. Historical basis. Psalm 121 is an anonymous Song of Ascents preserved in the Psalter. The dating and authorship of individual psalms are widely uncertain, spanning many centuries in Israel's history. Britannica. The psalm opens with the anxious cry, I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where will my help come? Bible Gateway. Psalm 121 belongs to a small collection known as the Songs of Ascents. 15 poems, Psalms 120 through 134, bound together by movement. They are climbing psalms, road psalms, pilgrim psalms. Ancient Israelites traveled to Jerusalem for great festival gatherings, and Jerusalem was not just spiritually up, it was physically up. To reach it, worshippers had to ascend through real landscape, rock, slope, heat, exposure, distance. That is why this psalm feels so human. Its crisis is not a single named battle, not a throne seized, not a prophet chained. Its crisis is more universal than that. It is the danger of the journey itself, the terrible fragility of a person who has left safety behind but has not yet reached sanctuary. Some scholars believe Psalm 121 may have been used as a farewell liturgy, a blessing spoken over someone setting out for Jerusalem. Others hear a dialogue, perhaps a pilgrim voicing fear, and a priest, companion, or community answering with reassurance. Still others hear an internal struggle, the soul answering itself in the language of faith. And that uncertainty matters, because Psalm 121 is built precisely from moments when certainty has run out. The voice trembles in verse 1, then steadies in verse 2. My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. That is the turning point. The road has not changed, the night has not changed, the traveler has changed. Historical basis. Psalms 120 through 134 are the Songs of Ascents associated with pilgrimage to Jerusalem and ritual movement toward a holy destination. Working preacher. Scholars variously interpret Psalm 121 as a traveler's blessing, farewell liturgy, dialogue, or interior exchange. Theologia Viatorium, Word and World. So who wrote it? Honestly, we do not know. The psalm gives no king's name, no battlefield, no signature, no title claiming David, only the bare superscription, a Song of Ascents. And yet the anonymity may be the point. This is not a monument to one famous life. It is a shelter built for countless ordinary ones. Still, if we listen carefully, the poet's psychology begins to emerge. This writer knows roads, knows exposure, knows what it is to scan the horizon and feel smaller than the world around him. This is not the voice of philosophical detachment. It is a mind under pressure, a person trying to master fear before fear masters him. He looks at the hills, and scholars have long debated what exactly he sees there. Does he see the distant heights of Jerusalem and take courage? Does he see dangerous mountain roads and feel dread? Does he glance toward hilltop shrines, those high places where surrounding peoples sought other gods, and reject them in favor of the Lord alone? The genius of the line is that it can hold all three tensions at once. The hills are beautiful. The hills are dangerous. The hills are spiritually contested. That is how real crises work. They are never only physical, never only emotional, never only theological. The same mountain can be an obstacle, a temptation, and a promise. So the traveler asks the oldest question in the world: who will help me now? And the answer does not come from the hills. It comes from beyond them, from the one who made them.
Historical basis. The psalm is anonymous and does not identify a specific historical author or event. Britannica. Scholarly readings of the hills include fear of mountain travel, the sight of Jerusalem, prayer toward heavenly heights, or even a rejection of hilltop deities, high places, the Lair House, Working Preacher, Ohio State Knowledge Bank.
To understand the force of that answer, we have to stand on the road with him. Ancient travel was brutal. No street lamps, no emergency rescue, no paved certainty. A pilgrim road through the Judean hills twisted through isolated country where fatigue was not just discomfort, it was danger. A slipping foot could cripple a traveler. A delayed caravan could leave someone exposed. Daylight brought heat. Darkness brought vulnerability. Every journey demanded trust, not because trust was sentimental, but because human control was thin. That is why the next lines feel so tactile. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. Not your crown, not your reputation, your foot. This is faith at ground level. The psalm is not pretending life is invincible. It is speaking to the exact body part that fails first on a mountain road: the ankle, the step, the wobble, the moment when balance goes. And then comes one of the most tender images in the poem: God as the one who does not sleep. In the ancient world, city guards slept, shepherds slept, parents slept, kings slept. Human protectors had limits, but the psalmist insists that Israel's keeper has none. He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Hebrew poem returns again and again to one verb: keep. Keep your foot, keep your life, keep your going out, keep your coming in. The whole psalm beats with that single promise, not that the world is harmless, but that the traveler is not unwatched.
Historical basis. Scholars note that Psalm 121 repeatedly emphasizes God as keeper or guardian, using the theme of protection across the poem, Theologia Viatorum. The image of the foot not slipping and of a God who never sleeps is tied to the literal needs of pilgrims on dangerous roads. Working preacher.
Then the psalm widens. At first, the fear is local, the hills, the road, the next step. But verse 2 detonates the scale. My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. That phrase is not decorative. It is a declaration of jurisdiction. The traveler does not merely invoke a tribal protector for one valley. He appeals to the maker of the valley, the hills, the sky over them, the sun above that sky, and the moon that will soon hang over the road. In other words, the pilgrim answers danger with creation theology. If some people looked to sacred hills, this poet looks to the creator of hills. If some feared celestial powers, he names the one who made the heavens they occupy. That is why some interpreters hear in Psalm 121 a subtle act of resistance, a refusal to trust the gods of high places, a refusal to fear sun and moon as powers in their own right. The traveler's world was not spiritually empty. It was crowded with rival claims, rival shrines, rival assurances. And Psalm 121 slices through all of them. Not the mountain, not the shrine, not the star, not the king, not luck. My help comes from the Lord. In a single line, the poet strips the universe of false saviors. That is why the psalm survives, because every age has its hills. Every age has something elevated, glittering, impressive, dangerous, something that asks to be trusted. And every age must answer the question again, from where will help come?
Historical basis. Verse 2 identifies the Lord as maker of heaven and earth. Bible Gateway. Some scholars interpret the hills and the sun-moon imagery as polemical against high place worship or astral deities, while others keep the focus on pilgrimage danger. Both views are part of the interpretive tradition, Ohio State Knowledge Bank, the Lair House.
Now listen to how the poem moves. The first line is I lift up my eyes, my help comes. But very quickly the language turns to you. You will not let your foot be moved. The Lord is your keeper. Why the shift? Because fear is being answered by blessing. A solitary cry becomes a spoken assurance. This is why many scholars imagine voices here, not one speaker, but two. A pilgrim asks, a priest answers, or a traveler falters and companions sing back courage into him. Or perhaps the soul itself divides under strain. One part panics, the other preaches. That would be profoundly human. Because in crisis, we are rarely one voice. There is always the voice that sees the mountain and the voice that remembers the Maker. There is the voice that counts risk and the voice that refuses despair. Psalm 121 may preserve exactly that inner and outer drama. One voice says, I am afraid. Another replies, you are kept. One voice says, the road is unstable. Another replies, your foot will not be given over to collapse. One voice says, night is coming. Another replies, Israel's guardian does not sleep. This is not denial, it is liturgy as resistance. Not the erasure of danger, but the ordering of fear beneath a greater reality. The psalmist does not become brave because the mountains disappear. He becomes brave because someone, God, priest, friend, memory, tradition, speaks over the mountains with a stronger word.
Historical basis.
Scholars have long noted the shift from first person to second person and have proposed dialogue settings involving a pilgrim, companions, or a priestly blessing, while others see an internal dialogue. Working Preacher, Theologia Viatorum, Ohio State Knowledge Bank. Then comes one of the most beautiful turns in the psalm. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. Shade. To modern ears, that may sound small. To an ancient traveler, it was mercy. This is a land where sunlight could become a salt, where the body could buckle under heat, where exposure was not metaphor, but condition. So when the poet says God is shade at your right hand, he is not speaking in abstraction. He is imagining closeness, immediate cover. Not a distant deity watching from heaven, but a presence so near it falls across your strongest side. And then the poem pushes further. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The sun is easy to understand. Heat stroke was real. Sun-blasted roads were real. The danger of collapse beneath an indifferent sky was real. But the moon? Ancient people did not divide the world as neatly as we do. Night carried its own terrors, confusion, exposure, superstition, unseen threat, the eerie vulnerability of sleeping outside under foreign light. Some traditions even associated moonlight with affliction, with becoming moonstruck. So this line is not quaint, it is total. Day and night, visible and invisible, heat and dread. What can wound the body and what can unmake the mind. And above it all, the repeated answer, the Lord keeps, the Lord shades, the Lord watches, not for an hour, not for the fortunate, for the frightened traveler on the road.
Historical basis. Ancient commentators and modern scholars connect the shade image to needed relief in the heat of the Judean landscape and interpret sun by day and moon by night as comprehensive protection from daytime and nighttime harms, including heat stroke and ancient fears of moon affliction. Working Preacher, Word and World, The Lair House.
By now, the psalm has done something extraordinary. It has taken a moment of immediate fear and expanded it into a theology of existence. It begins with one frightened glance at the hills. It ends with all of life enclosed in protection. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time on and forevermore. Going out and coming in. That is more than travel. It is the whole rhythm of mortal life, leaving and returning, beginning and ending, departure from home, return to home, birth into danger, burial into hope. In the ancient world, going out and coming in could describe movement under God's care, the ordinary circulation of life beneath divine attention. And in later Jewish practice, this verse became attached to the threshold itself, to the doorway, the place where human beings cross between shelter and uncertainty. Which means the final victory of Psalm 121 is not that the pilgrim becomes untouchable. It is that there is no threshold where God is absent. Not the city gate, not the wilderness path, not the blazing noon, not the midnight camp, not the leaving, not the return. The poet has moved us from one danger to every danger, from one road to the whole human condition. And somehow the poem does not break under that weight. It becomes larger than the crisis that birthed it. That is why anonymous songs endure longer than empires, because they tell the truth about being small in a perilous world, and then refuse to leave us there.
Historical basis. Verses 7 through 8 expand the Psalm's protection language to your going out and your coming in, interpreted as comprehensive care over the whole course of life.
So, what was the crisis behind Psalm 121? If we are honest, history does not give us a single cinematic footnote, no exact date, no named ravine, no signed confession from the poet. But it gives us something more haunting, a preserved atmosphere, the crisis of the exposed pilgrim, the anxiety of departure, the pressure of uncertain roads, the nearness of bodily danger, the spiritual contest of where to place trust. And perhaps that is why the poem was kept, because it captured not one headline event, but a permanent human emergency. How do you walk forward when you cannot secure your own future? That question would have belonged to travelers ascending to Jerusalem. It would have also belonged to exiles returning home, to worshippers living under unstable kingdoms, to families carrying grief, to anyone who had to step into a world that offered no guarantees. And the Psalm's answer is subtle. It does not say, "You will understand everything." It does not say, "The road is safe." It does not say, "Nothing bad will ever happen." It says something harder and deeper. You are not alone on the road. The same God who made heaven and earth attends to your footstep. That is the scandal of Psalm 121. Not only transcendence, attention. The Maker of heaven and earth cares whether one frightened pilgrim makes it through the hills before nightfall. Historical basis. The precise historical event behind Psalm 121 is unknown, but the psalm is widely read against the realities of pilgrimage, travel anxiety, and the dangers of ancient roads. Word and World, Working Preacher, Britannica. And what of deliverance? The psalm itself does not narrate the arrival. It ends before the traveler reaches the gate. That too is masterful, because the promise matters most before the resolution is visible. Yet within the Songs of Ascents, the movement continues. The wider collection keeps climbing, keeps approaching Jerusalem, keeps turning anxiety into worship. Psalm 121 stands in the middle of that ascent, like a hand on the shoulder of everyone still on the road. We can imagine what followed: the ridges opening, the city appearing, the pilgrim still breathing, still walking, still held. Perhaps this poem was sung at the moment of departure, perhaps answered on the road, perhaps remembered at the sight of Zion. However it was used, its deliverance is not flashy. No chariot split by fire, no army drowned in the sea, just this miracle. A human being who began in fear continues in trust. A traveler who looked at the hills and trembled learns to look beyond them. Sometimes that is how God saves, by not removing the mountain, but by carrying the soul across it. Historical basis. Psalm 121 is part of the ascending movement of Psalms 120 to 134 toward Jerusalem. Working Preacher. Scholarly work on the Songs of Ascents also reads Psalm 121 within a broader movement toward positive space and Jerusalem. Baylor Dissertation. 3,000 years later, that anonymous voice still lives. Not because modern people know the roads to Jerusalem. Most do not. Not because we understand ancient moon fears or caravan paths. Most do not. It lives because vulnerability has not changed. We still lift our eyes to our own hills, hospital rooms, funeral houses, airports at dawn, diagnoses, war reports, loneliness, doors we do not want to walk through. And still the old question rises with terrible freshness. From where will my help come? Psalm 121 survives because it does not mock that question. It dignifies it. It lets fear speak first. Then, with grave and measured confidence, it answers, "Your help comes from the Lord who does not sleep through your night, the Lord who stands as shade in your exposure, the Lord who keeps your going out when you are brave enough to leave, and your coming in when you are tired enough to come home." That is the final wonder of this psalm. An unknown poet somewhere on a dangerous ascent turned a private tremor into a public refuge. He left us no face, no biography, no monument, only 8 verses, and 8 verses were enough. Enough to steady travelers, enough to cross centuries, enough to turn a road in ancient Judea into a promise that still reaches ordinary people now. You may be small, you may be afraid, the hills may be high, but you are not unkept.